Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. This is Radio Free Mormon on the air, broadcasting behind enemy lines. Tonight's episode: Judge orders Jenn Kamp to take down defamatory videos. Yes, it's been quite a week for Jenn Kamp. After the last report I gave, which was about the order that the judge entered, finding as a matter of law that because of her actions in hiding evidence and spoliating evidence, and then lying about it, that the judge found as a matter of law that she had committed defamation against John Dehlin. He struck the jury trial because that decision has already been made, and then he set it for a hearing on damages in August. And that is the only thing that's going to be decided at that hearing is the issue of damages, since the judge has already issued as a matter of law and as a matter of fact that Jenn Kamp did indeed defame John Dehlin. Well, that order was issued on May 15th of 2024. Today's date is May 24th of 2024. So only 9 days later. And what happened was really extraordinary is that after the judge issued an order finding that she had committed defamation of John Dehlin, Jenn Kamp went to work and started immediately at putting up additional defamatory videos about John Dehlin. She did it on Thursday, the day after the order was entered. And then ever since then, now she's got 8 videos up since last Wednesday, May 15th, that are defamatory of John Dehlin, including 4 of them, the last 4, which you put up, I think it was yesterday, of her videotaped deposition. And before that, there were additional videos that she put up, all of them defamatory toward John Dehlin and the OSF, the Open Stories Foundation. So the Open Stories Foundation lawyers brought a motion, an emergency motion, in front of the judge to require Jenn Kamp to take down these defamatory videos. And they did that by way of a motion for a temporary restraining order. Now, a temporary restraining order is something that can be issued if a judge finds there's a danger of irreparable harm or irreparable injury to John Dehlin by these defamatory videos. And then, if that is issued, then there has to be a hearing, a full evidentiary hearing scheduled within 14 days of the temporary order to give the defendant, in this case, Jenn Kamp, a chance to come to court, have an evidentiary hearing, and demonstrate to the judge that the videos that she has put up are not actually defamatory in nature. So the hearing on the motion for a temporary restraining order was scheduled for 9 o'clock this morning in Utah, which is 8 o'clock this morning, my time on the Pacific Coast. It is now 10:29 in the morning in Utah, and the hearing did commence as scheduled at 9 o'clock Mountain Time. It lasted for about an hour. I was in attendance at the hearing. It was held not in open court, but by WebEx, which is the equivalent of a Zoom meeting, but just on the WebEx software. So I was able to attend, as well as anybody else who wanted to, and I will give you a brief recap on what happened at that hearing. Now, I cannot play that hearing for you right now because I do not have the audio for that hearing. Suffice it to say that at the end of the hearing, Judge Faust did issue the temporary restraining order against Jenn Kamp, ordering her to take down all of her videos about John Dehlin that she has put up in the intervening 9 days since he gave that original order, finding Jenn Kamp to have committed defamation. And here is the order that he signed. Let me go ahead and put it up here on the screen for you. I apologize for the fact that it's a bit small there on the screen. It is a 4-page order. It starts off with this language. It is titled Order Granting Motion for Temporary Restraining Order, which was signed by the judge about half an hour ago in the 3rd Judicial District Court in and for Salt Lake County, state of Utah. Having considered plaintiff's motion for temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction, the declaration and documents submitted in support thereof, and the other papers and pleadings on file with the court finds there is probable cause to show that defendant, Jennifer Kamp, is purposely violating the court's May 15th, 2024 order and is acting in an unlawful manner that, if allowed to continue, would irreparably harm plaintiffs, that plaintiffs have succeeded on the merits of their case, that the harm to Ms. Kamp, if enjoined, is minimal, especially when compared to the irreparable harm to plaintiffs if she is not enjoined, and that public policy favors compelling parties to comply with the orders of the court. Yeah. Ms. Kamp's intentional spreading of allegations the court has determined to be defamatory and enjoined, and on the same day and after the order was entered, shows a clear, knowing, and intentional violation that was intended to harm plaintiffs and a complete lack of respect for the authority of this court. The court accordingly grants plaintiff's motion and orders the following. Ms. Kamp must immediately remove from all of her social media accounts any video, podcast, or other document in which she defames plaintiff's Open Stories Foundation or John DeLynn, including and without limitation the following videos. And there they list. Actually, when this was filed on Monday, there were only 2 videos that she had put up. Since then, she's added 6 more. So all of them ended up being put into this order. And the order was changed to reflect any and all videos that she's put up or any comments about John DeLynn. At the time, the only videos up were John DeLynn and the Open Stories Foundation, My Story, in My Opinion, with Evidence Part 1, and My Opinion with Evidence of the Pattern of Harm and Abuse by John DeLynn and OSF, EVL, whatever. I think that's supposed to be an EVI for evidence. If Ms. Kamp fails to comply with this order, the social media platforms on which such videos are hosted are ordered to remove them from the social media platform. That last line the judge struck, inasmuch as the social media platforms are not a party to this case, and therefore he has no authority to order them to do anything. So that line was struck. Paragraph 2, for purposes of this order, these defamatory comments include, but are not limited to, any allegations of sexual misconduct, harassment, harm, stalking, or abuse by John DeLynn toward Ms. Kamp or any other person. Any allegations of physical intimidation, harm, or abuse by John DeLynn toward Ms. Kamp or any other person. Any allegation of unlawful conduct or misuse of funds or deception toward donors and viewers. Any allegations that plaintiffs acted criminally or unethically in their pursuit of their claims against Ms. Kamp. Any allegations that the OSF board received or acted improperly or unethically in handling any sexual harassment complaint made to them about OSF employees. Any allegation that plaintiffs intentionally or negligently outed Ms. Kamp's childhood sex abuse, and any allegation referencing or suggesting that 18 or 19 women have stories the same as Ms. Kamp or were part of a pattern of abuse or harm. Paragraph 3, Ms. Kamp, her husband Jason Kamp, and any person acting on her behalf or who has knowledge of this order is enjoined from posting any document, video, or podcast or making any statement in public or private in which Ms. Kamp defames OSF or DeLynn, or which republishes any portion of any document, video, or podcast in which Ms. Kamp defames OSF or DeLynn. Ms. Kamp is ordered to take reasonable steps to have any such documents removed. Now, the judge did also modify this part of the document, this part of the temporary order, because Jenn Kamp's husband, Jason Kamp, is also not a party to this case, and therefore the judge cannot order him to do or not do anything. However, he did put in his order that Ms. Kamp is enjoined from encouraging, soliciting, or requesting a third party, including her husband, to put up such documents. Paragraph 4, Ms. Kamp is ordered to link a copy of the court's May 15th, 2024 order and this order to all of her social media accounts, and to provide a copy of this order to anyone with whom she shared any document, video, or podcast about plaintiffs. She shall also include the following statement on all of her social media channels with a link. On May 15th, 2024, the court granted plaintiff's motion for order to show cause and enter judgment in plaintiff's favor on all of plaintiff's causes of action against Jenn Kamp. Paragraph 5, all docket numbers will be classified as protected, private, and shall not be accessible to the public. That is something that the judge did. He recategorized this case from being public to being private so that now only attorneys involved in the matter can access the documents that are on file with the court. Any additional documents filed in response to any of the foregoing shall also be classified as protected/private. Each party filing documents that should be classified as protected/private shall notify the court of such designation. As I said, the judge just reclassified the entire case as protected/private. Paragraph 6, Ms. Kamp must seek leave of the court before filing any additional documents in this matter. On this issue, the judge struck that clause as well, but he did say that he had previously considered labeling Ms. Kamp a vexatious litigant, which means that she has abused the process by filing improper filings with the court multiple times. And the court basically signaled to OSF's lawyer that if the lawyer would bring a motion to have Jenn Kamp classified as a vexatious litigant, the judge would sign it. So I expect they'll be doing that in short order. What that means is that if Jenn Kamp or anybody else is denominated a vexatious litigant by the court, then that means they can't file any more motions without an attorney. And if they do file a motion, then that motion is reviewed by a third-party person in the court system to determine whether it will go forward or whether it will not be allowed to be filed. And finally, page 4, paragraph 7, the court further orders that Ms. Kamp's actions in knowing violation or intentional disregard of the court's May 15th, 2024 order constitutes contempt. Here, the judge did not sign this part of the order either, to the best of my recollection. What he did say was that there had been no actual protection order or injunction against Ms. Kamp prohibiting her from putting up these videos. Therefore, he could not find her in contempt for violating an order that did not exist. What he did do then was this morning at approximately 10 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time on May 24th, 2024, the judge signed this temporary restraining order, which means that now she has to take the videos down. And if she does not, or if she puts up additional videos, then there is an order in place prohibiting her from doing so, and she can be found in contempt of court if she either does not take down the videos or puts up additional videos in violation of this temporary order. Paragraph 8, if Ms. Kamp violates this order, the court will impose additional sanctions, including possible incarceration. Yes, the judge took some time to explain that to Jenn Kamp, that she was looking at potentially going to jail if she refused to obey this court order. And paragraph 9, this temporary restraining order shall expire within 14 days after entry, unless within that time, this order for good cause shown is extended for a like period, or unless the parties against whom this order is directed consent, etc., that it may be extended for a longer period of time. That a temporary order can extend for only 14 days. And within those 14 days, there has to be an evidentiary hearing that is scheduled in order for both sides to present their cases to the judge as to why this order should not be made permanent against Jenn Kamp. And Judge Faust did schedule that hearing date for June 5th, 2024 at 9 o'clock in the morning. So there's going to be a hearing with evidence. It will be an evidentiary hearing on the issue of whether this temporary restraining order should be made into a permanent restraining order, permanently enjoining Jenn Kamp from putting up videos or other comments in any form whatsoever defamatory to John and the OSF. So that's where things are at now. That is the latest word on what's going on in this case of John Dehlin and the OSF versus Jenn Kamp. My ability to report on this may be hampered somewhat in the future by the judges reclassifying this case as private, but we'll see what I can find out. Anything that I can find out that is legal and lawful for me to find out, I will be reporting to you in the upcoming days and weeks. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And thank you so much for all of your support. Until next time, this is Radio Free Mormon, signing off the air.